One. What is popping? What is popping? Anime. What is popping?
That's fine. This means the stream audio is working.
No, do it again now. See if it's echoing now.
No, I fixed it.
Okay, because I was listening on the phone to make sure we're actually audible.
No, that wasn't you. That wasn't you. That was I had my
Okay.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, people of Earth, Jupiter, and Wisconsin.
The 3 locations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone, but I like my audience and you a lot better. They're more chilled.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I mean, yeah, they're fucking frozen to death.
Earth. Anyone who lives on Earth kind of fucking sucks.
Well, that's just they can't help where they live. You might be influenced by the location you're grown up in, but it doesn't define you as a person.
Damn. I'm sure it would if you lived on Jupiter, because not only are there like never-ending storms happening, the gravity is also twice as intense as on Earth.
Yeah, so that means if you're actually living on Jupiter, you're probably an actual physical badass. Just saying.
Yeah.
Or you'll die if you come here and like you'll break going upward or something.
I would like to imagine it's an effect. Because with all those storms and whatnot, you're becoming the Earth. Others wonder how the ball of like, yeah.
Pretty sure that's where Vegeta went to become Super Saiyan. Like he got so fucking pissed that Goku did it that he just went to Jupiter and fucking fought the storms until he got angry enough.
He went to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Yeah, I've been time, and you have robbed me.
Oh my god.
That 5-year-old joke.
I feel like that's longer than 5 years. That's a kid. That's fucking.
Oh,
kid.
you know.
No, like 85. That is like a joke that is for a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You have robbed me.
I just heard go to Jupiter and then popped into my head. Anyway, welcome back, everyone.
Yep. Welcome back, Jupiter.
We're continuing with our horror-themed anime FMK tournament, I guess.
Months, even though it was just Christmas. But what's more scary than the dead of owning presents for your friends and family?
True.
Bro, other gyms sucks.
Yeah, what the fuck, other gyms?
Yeah. There's some difficulties where we're getting the music bot working.
Maybe we should have done this first, but whatever.
No.
It'll work when it wants to.
My stream knows I don't do shit fucking properly.
James.
The
other one.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, the other one.
We're yelling at the bot.
Oh, okay.
It's just not playing, dude. Other gyms sucks.
Something went wrong.
I guess you guys don't. I guess you guys won't get music, or you guys.
Oh well.
Chat.
Lucky them.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll work when it wants to.
Yeah.
If it does.
It's the first time it said it's failed. Isn't just not doing it, saying it's failed.
Something went wrong.
Anyway.
Oh, I need silence for like a minute. Alright, chat. Music's a little loud. I'm trying to fix that. Alright.
We're good?
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright. Cool.
Nice.
Everybody shut up! I have an erection.
Okay.
I also have an erection for how good this upcoming show is.
Yeah!
Oh, dude, erase, man.
Well, really erased my flaccid penis.
Well, first we gotta fucking introduce everyone to what shows we're talking about.
So I'm glad we're doing general now, because I wouldn't remember what the fuck happened in episode 6, 7, or 5, 6, and 7?
Right.
4, 5, and 6? 4, 5, and 6? I know bits and pieces, but like I wouldn't remember what happened in which episode.
Okay. We have Erased, we have Parador Agent, we got School Live, and we got Serial Experiment Lane.
Yep.
All spookies in their own rights.
Yeah, they're quite the difference. I guess we're jumping in with Erased.
Yeah, we're starting off with Erased, which, leading up to this point, just to give a general gist, a man who's has a weird ability to go X amount of time in the past to fix something wrong, finds his mother dead in his apartment, and his ability takes him back all the way to childhood, and we're going through the events that happened to it town. Keep it a little vague. A little vague,
Yeah.
but to give you a gist, like, hey, this is, what's going on? I don't know.
If you want to get fully caught up, go back and watch the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Watch content. Episode 4.
so
Accomplished.
Yeah, so this set we see a lot more that happens with the girl. A lot more. And like,
Kaio.
fuck the mom.
Her name is Kaio.
Yeah, fuck the mom.
Yeah. Classic abuser.
Okay. Back in time, we're seeing more of Satoru try to help Kaio's life and learning more about it. Like how she has very abusive parents or parent. We don't really see much of the dad. Probably not even there.
Probably just a pushover, if anything.
But he thinks that if he can save her from her death day, he'll rewrite the timeline to finish the thing. And that's mostly what this episode is trying to convince the shitty parents to let you hang out with her, to fucking find out that her birthday is the same as the main character's birthday, and then invite her to your birthday party, and also technically her birthday party.
Which has so far has one of the more funnier scenes in the show with the he goes up to the mom and goes, "Hey mom, can I invite 5 friends to my birthday party?" "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
And then later on nighttime when they're sleeping, she goes, "Hang on, 5 friends? Do you have a girlfriend?"
It took her so long to learn that, to come to that conclusion.
You have a girlfriend.
That's funny. Yeah, this plan does eventually pan out,
This
and he
is
ends up
a
delaying.
very fucking cute episode.
Oh yeah, it is. He does eventually end up delaying the death date by 2 days.
Yeah. Big surprise, big twist of that episode. Like, I thought this was going to be the entire series was building up to this point to then stop it. But no, we
Yeah, so
get
did I.
here. Everything went fine. It's been 2 more days. She isn't dead. All right. She didn't walk home alone, which is where she got kidnapped last time. Everything's great. Why isn't she here at school?
Yeah.
Where is
bad.
she? Why? That hurt. That hurt. Because everything was going fine. And because it's episode 3, the things can't be going fine. It's that the show isn't done. We don't have 9 more episodes of nice, happy
The
times.
nice of him just living his 8th grade life.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That sounds
Yeah.
that sounds like a good.
Yeah, but that's not why it's in the horror, really psychological horror
Yeah.
or drama. I don't even know if this one's technically horror, but who cares at this point?
Good enough.
It's suspenseful. This was all suspense because you're waiting for something bad to happen, and then it doesn't. But then
And
it
it does.
does. And then it
Yeah.
does, and it's like fuck.
It keeps you guessing.
It's a little bit hard due to the time to remember specific moments. He did have a bit of a conundrum
Minute.
with.
Hmm?
What was I gonna say? He was doing things similar to how he did it last time.
Oh, right.
He's starting to see more evidence of that. He's like, oh shit, I gotta fucking do something different.
Yeah, he had, as certain moments passed, he had flashbacks of remembering doing them in the past,
Deja
and then
vu.
tried to do something different. Which I guess it would be the most realistic thing you would do in that situation.
Yeah. If you went back in time but had no memory of it, you'd do the same things.
Yeah.
Because he has the
Do what you
overall goal
remember.
to save Kaine and save his mom.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah,
And
so
And eventually, when he does discover that she has been killed, he does get flung back into the present. Not a lot has changed
Actually,
though.
it goes on for a bit longer, actually,
Oh, does it?
as he starts seeing it, the events starting to reappear, but in different orders. Another one of the kids who died.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
It keeps going missing several days later, eventually getting to a point where he's fucking sad, he's depressed, like everything was for naught. And then he like walks past seeing the mom throw out a bag of trash with almost a glee on her face.
Oh yeah.
And you could see sort of through the outer layer of the fucking trash is these mittens he got Kaio for her birthday because she had cold hands.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what fucking triggers him to go,
That sent him spiraling.
no. And they get spiraled back to the present.
Right. So yeah, we end up back, and he ends up back in the present. And not a whole lot has changed.
Yeah,
His mother is still freshly dead. He's being pursued by the cops. Everything is bad.
everything is bad. He did the thing you probably shouldn't do in that
Run.
scenario, which is run, but at this point he's dealing with some shit that he's being set up, absolutely.
So I said this in the first episode, and I'll say it
Yeah.
again. If you're ever in a situation where there is a dead body and there's cops coming up, the worst thing to possibly do is to run.
It
You know,
is.
if for a fact you have not done anything, you saw the body, you have nothing to worry about.
But devil's caveat, we're dealing with someone who's successfully gotten away with murder for years. So if he did sit around and do nothing, he'd probably just get away again. And his
Yeah.
mom would be dead and he wouldn't be able to do anything.
The point where the person's fight or flight response
Yeah,
Would
it wasn't a
actually-
smart decision, absolutely not.
would probably be the best thing. Because he also just did it in the pure shock and grief of seeing his own mother dead,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
with no apparent evidence around.
Right, like he was the only, like he had blood on his hands. Just like immediate thought was, "Oh shit!" And then someone saw him, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, I'm fucked."
I gotta get
Yeah.
out of here.
Indeed.
Which I don't know
Eventually-
about you guys. I haven't seen many like hide from the cop scenarios that are taken like more seriously. Usually it's like, oh man, the cops are corrupted and the hero's got to sneak past them to get to the place. But this one's like he's desperate. He doesn't have food. He doesn't have clothing. He's sleeping under a bridge.
I've seen it a few times, and man, this kind of situation is very, just like stressful, suspenseful, I should say.
Spence seems to be the name of the game here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely
This
does a
is
good job
ongoing.
of having you.
Yeah. Well, the suspense is coupled with all the stuff we learn later in the episodes of a ongoing mystery that becomes the ultimate goal of the main character to solve, which I think is very good hook to keep people watching.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Like, very good.
But despite this terrible situation, Satoru has a little bit of hope and an ally.
Yeah. The girl he worked with at the pizza place. I think it was
Irie,
the pizza place.
or Airy, if you want to be that guy.
Yeah. And she's like 17?
Yeah, she's 17, he's 29.
She still takes him in knowing, well, not, well, I shouldn't say knowing he did anything, but
The news has started to spread.
yeah, knowing the kind of situation he's in.
Which you'd think it'd be like a setup to be, aha, I caught you. You're in jail now, but no.
No, she's just a genuinely cool guy.
Girl.
She.
Mostly because, as we learned with her backstory, her dad got fucking framed for stealing a candy bar. And then no one believed him in the village. Like, very small town, everyone knew names. Fucking anything that happens flies around everywhere. To the point where everyone started seeing him as actual thief instead of just the thing he didn't do.
Yeah, they just shunned him over what they thought. Even his own wife.
Even his own wife. And she just sat back and because you're a kid, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Basically gets shunned away out of town, and he just left and divorced his mom, and fucking it sucked. Even the mom agrees that maybe she should have listened to him at the time. Which makes her want to believe in someone who no one wants to believe in, that being Satoru.
Yeah.
She's a pretty big bro in this moment. Like,
Yeah,
pretty-
very, very much so. Even when her fucking house gets set on fire.
Yes.
Yes.
As she's giving him shelter, fucking like a little bit of shelter, but he has to leave because obviously her parents are still there and they don't want to work. They'll not see this situation as the right one. He goes out and does some snooping, kind of taking, trying to figure out more what's happening. Use like
That's
the
right.
paper that his mom left right before she died, like a number she was about to call, but then got stabbed.
Takes that and meets up with one of her friends that has been looking into this case, apparently.
Well, the mom was before. Well, the
Yeah,
mom's-
that's right.
Yeah.
Has been looking into this case since that day of the kidnapping and murder of the children. Multiples. And he gets to meet with this person. They start forming a plan to finally figure out who this person who's evaded the authorities for so long and framed so many murders. How to finally get them.
But
And
during
Now
that,
go on.
double check. We're mixing up some stuff from episode 6, but it's fine.
That's fine. I just was like a general go over. We don't need a play-by-play.
Yeah, important thing. Her house got caught on fire, and once again tries to set up Satoru as doing it. But
Yep.
she's saved and whatever.
Excuse me,
And
sorry.
important pieces. She puts her phone in his pocket before she's taken out of the fire to show that she was almost set up because she got a text from him, I think, or the
Yeah,
mom.
it was
I can't
posed.
remember.
It was supposed to be from him
Yeah, posed from him.
to tell her to stay in. Which was sent like a few seconds before it actually went off, so that's a little...
Very
Well,
sus.
Yeah. I mean, it would
Right.
probably be the safest thing to do, because if she knew something was up, she'd try to leave immediately,
Yeah.
which she did, or tried.
Yeah, episode 6, we talked to Sawada, is his name.
Yeah,
He's a handsome feller.
Handsome man.
he sure was.
We looked into the deaths, and everything had like this book of trying to piece this all together, because it usually with
bothering
cases
them
that
for-
become unsolvable, eventually they have to be dropped for like
Mhm.
other stuff. So they can't really put the time on it anymore.
Yeah, but he fucking never gave up. And he reveals that his mom had been parts of this, that his mom had been working on this for as long as they can remember, even though she was never like a detective.
Mhm.
She was like a reporter.
Yeah, she was like a news reporter that retired, but she still had that like reporter instinct to like continue this pursuit.
I believe it was also here that it was discovered that he actually did change the timeline in some way
Yeah,
because of the date change of the first kidnapping. Or
Yeah.
disappearance.
he moved her death date along in some of the kidnappings. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the first one moved from March 1st to March 3rd, which as a March 1st to March 3rd, the day after his birthday rather than the day
Yeah.
before, which was it's dope that he was able to actually like make some kind of change, because that viewably made him actually
Have a
it's like,
chance.
okay, yeah, it was like, oh, this didn't just go back to what it was before. Like, he went back all that time ago, and he managed to actually make some kind of change, even though it didn't change anything in his current timeline. His
Mhm.
hopes that it'll actually do something were like visible. He cares. He didn't just give up.
Yeah, exactly. That moment to me just like signifies the point that going back in the time and changing things, even if it didn't stop his mother from dying, still has the potential to set things on the course to find the killer. That really small spark of hope is in there.
I really wonder if they made a game about this anime, because it would be such an interesting place where you have to like keep slowly changing things while trying to survive.
Oh yeah.
In the present, I think that could have been a cool idea for a game.
I feel like there's a video game that does take that concept and does something with it.
Probably.
Like an early one.
Cool as fuck.
But yeah.
Irie's not being immovable either. She's also doing her research, trying to figure out who would have set her house on fire, trying to kill her.
As any sane person would.
Yeah. And through some snooping with talking with the manager or learning about the manager, who was kind of glossing over, but he was a realistic douche. Like, he wasn't just a douche, he was like a realistic one.
Yeah.
He did what a lot of people probably would have done, but still, like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, he had the opportunity. He almost took the opportunity to turn in the guy after he learned that he was suspected to be the killer, but was stopped for it.
Like, if you thought your employee was an actual killer, like, benefit of the doubt, but also, like, should probably send you to the police for questioning.
Mm-hmm. I can't really blame him for anything he did.
Yeah. We can't
Especially
blame
afterwards.
him for talking to the person that might have been the person who set the place on fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Nishizuma. That's what it says here. Which might have been the fire guy. He was some, like, business-looking man, something. Irie, with this information, goes to tell Satoru in their usual meeting spot. Tries not to get followed, gets followed, tells him, and then all the cops show up in their super secret, not secret anymore, location.
Yep. That's how episode 6 ends, with him getting arrested.
But he looks to the sideline, but sees possibly the guy watching his handiwork, and he fucking loses it again and activates revival.
Yeah, we see a pan out like this, really cool, and that's what I'm seeing so far. Is honestly the animation for this one catches my eye probably the most in that regard. Is like the slowdown in the environmental of time for just like that moment. I was like, this is fucking sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this pan down where like rain is basically ceased. He sees all the time slow down, and then he sees those red eyes, like the killer.
Yeah, the fucking red eyes glinting off of him.
That was a very good ending scene. Fucking like you think it's gonna be fine, but then it's not, and then it's getting worse. And she tries to protect him, but gets shoved off, and he's not showing fucking manga, dude. He's getting captured. He can't fight past fucking police guards. He ain't getting out of that shit.
Yeah, I was like, I real butt clenched during the fire thing because I was like, oh no, please don't.
Yeah.
This man's been through enough. This coworker is being so nice to him.
I was ready for that death to happen.
Yeah, me too. Not gonna lie.
Very impactful. Very suspenseful. Want to know what happens next.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Another thing about this show, I do like how it still has joke moments and moments of comedy.
Yeah, I mean,
between
everything. To creep them in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a recurring thing where he keeps saying what he's thinking out loud.
Yeah, there's that. Plus the second iteration of him not realizing how he's talking to his 17-year-old coworker. It's like, dude, you're 29. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any guesses on who the guy is?
I have some ideas.
I also have some.
I didn't really think about that, honestly. It's kind of just along for the ride.
At first, I thought, like, I misunderstood, like, the guy who, like, had the plane. I thought he actually did it, and that Satoru didn't know he actually did. So when he was talking to him, being a friend, like, oh, what are you doing, you idiot? But no, he's the one who got framed for it.
Yeah, that's right.
That was my misunderstanding.
He also had the evidence of his frickin' child stuff planted on him.
Yeah.
So
Planted being into children when it was just normal porn mags, bro.
yeah, it's just normal.
Just normal porn, man.
I really feel bad for that guy now.
Yeah, you just wanted to throw. Oh, yeah, there was one nice moment we forgot. Where
Yeah.
he helped some kids make a better paper airplane.
Good. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Whilst he's on the run.
Yeah, while it's on a run.
Yeah, and he just like, and there was that moment where those adults were like, "Oh wait,
What is
This
this
guy-
dude fucking helping kids? Gross.
What the fuck,
Yeah.
man? This was back in 2006,
Yeah.
which apparently was when it takes place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Alright.
think I said everything I need to.
Yeah, I think I'm good on this one.
Ooh.
Which brings us to our next show. Paranoia Agent. The
Agent
the general gist of this show: random people are having some psychiatric problems, paranoia is finest. And some dude with a golden baseball bat with skates rolls around, bonks him the head, and they're somehow, and the victim is somehow magically happier.
But this guy is still an assailant, and the cops are after him
Yeah.
because he's just assaulting everyone.
Now we go through episodes that are lightly connected to each other.
Yeah.
And now slowly getting more connected to each other.
Yep.
First things first. Because of what happened, the mix up that happened last week, James, you had
Oh.
to do extra homework.
yeah."
I would love to hear your opinions up to this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna start out with. I still have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Watching it, I'm sure it wasn't all in one sitting, but back to like I finished everything else, and this is all I had to watch. So watching everything back to back on this just had me. This whole time, so like briefly skimming through the first couple episodes, I'm like, all right, so there's a couple of connections here as to what's going on. There, the people that it's happening to. There's some direct connections to, and then we start jumping around to like the individual characters that this is happening to, and there's like kind of connections, but the way the show is portraying it still leaving me confused and uncomfortable. And at the end of, here's the thing, of all the things that really finishes it off is the surprise ending followed by the little slow moving carnival music that is the credits.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
that
right.
fucking credit.
First time I saw that, I was just completely enthralled.
Yeah, that was fucking. Again, at night, nothing else happening in my house. It just cuts. Then this. I'm like, what is going on? Opening theme. We showed you before, but
Yeah.
that's still such. It's so immediate. Like there's no like at least on the site, it didn't like do the normal things where it's like here's the producer, here's the makers, whatever. Just immediate opening theme.
You get a little birds tweeting, and then it starts.
Yeah, it's fucking unsettling as fuck.
It is.
Yeah, if you have time, I do highly recommend looking up that song.
Good.
Oh, definitely.
song.
A good one.
I was singing it earlier. What do you need? What do you need the YouTubes for when you
Yeah.
got me, your boy, Swank?
Exactly. Swank.
Your boy Swank.
Yeah.
Swank in the morning.
But we do have episode 4.
Yeah.
Very unexpected episode, which is saying something for what we just came off of with episode 3.
Yeah. Much like the other episodes, it's still based pretty much like a little self-contained story. following a certain individual.
Masami Hirukawa,
Yeah, Masami.
a portly
This person of
low-level
which-
police officer.
Yeah. Portly police officer who's leading somewhat of a double life in some regards. He's caught up within paying off a debt to some...
Yakuza.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever explicitly stated, but basically. And to do so, just kind of steals stuff from people, like burglar style. Straight up breaks in their houses.
Well, he did that because he was in debt, because he kept squeezing out money from the Yakuza, also prostitutes, which is how we
Yeah,
connected to
he
the
also-
last episode.
He also likes to spend his leisure time on prostitutes, even though he is a married man with a
Yep.
child.
Yep.
Which I didn't actually realize that until, like, way later.
Yeah.
I thought he was just talking about it beforehand. And the episode ends with a bit of a twist compared to the last few.
Like, out of everyone, this is probably the most despicable one we've seen, and we slightly saw that Frogman. Like, this guy's doing, like, the Frogman, but worse.
Yeah,
It's...
he's... God.
And he has this, like, parallel... I think this is the thought process he's going through, to, like, this Fist of the North Star style manga, where, like, this is a man's path.
Yeah.
This is what you gotta do, which usually is denoted in like a good thing. Like usually, like the road's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
He's not doing any of that. He's been taken. He's been lying. He fucking lies to his cop buddies.
Yep.
And that scene where he basically gets drugs to help him not care about robbing people, so he
Yeah.
can get that money.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
this episode probably had the scariest moment in it for me.
Yeah, man, that was a realistic, scary scenario.
Oh, God. Yeah. It does help that the dub for this is actually really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Like, one of the best I've heard.
And
Yep.
the animation style showing off their fucking faces. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
How everyone actually looks realistic.
But he doesn't get caught by the other police when he's stealing and steals. I don't know if he ever actually does pay off the debt. I don't think he does.
I don't think he gets a chance to.
Yeah. Because eventually, after doing. He didn't kill anyone, but he came close.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally begging in the street after, like, the debt keeps getting raised by the Yakuza group. That he just can't keep it up. He wants somebody to stop him. He's wailing for it. He's basically just holding the evidence that you would need for anyone to know that he was the thief. Just in his bag with a bunch of money. He's just wailing, somebody stop me, into the darkness. That's when he appears, Little Slugger,
Mr. Paranoia Agent himself.
who comes and goes the big whack.
And that was the most step aside moment for me. Is like, oh, like he gets him, and then he's just like, he's like, I assume this is like drugs.
Yeah, I
That,
think
like,
the drugs
yeah,
might have done that.
Yeah, like
Oh,
numbed him up enough to the point where he took the hit and he was like, "You motherfucker!" And he just fucking just
Circle wailing on him.
yeah. I don't remember. Was that like a bottle in his hand?
No, he took like off his shoe and chucked it at him while he tried to skate away and knocked him to the ground.
Yeah, and that shot though. Let's just be real.
He is a
like,
cop. Like, he does have some training.
Yeah, trick shot of the year. Fucking gets like the scene we see is like as Little Slugger is wheeling away, and I had a step aside moment where like this whole time we've seen scenes that like it felt like Little Slugger was like a ghost or like this whole time.
Untouchable.
I just thought he was just this figure. Like we see the scene of the kid, the number one kid of the school, where he's chasing after him, and then he's watching him, and he just like visually disappears. And I'm just like, so he's a ghost? Like he's got to be a ghost, right? And then he fucking gets Little Slugger in the back of the head from like 30 feet away while he's wheeling away, and then he just walks up and starts kicking. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I had it. I thought I had it done. But he's kicking Little Slugger in the side.
And he
He's
captures
kicking
him.
aside.
He captures
He's beating his
him.
ass.
Yep.
And doesn't get any recompense for what he did.
I mean-
we'll see it later, but for that episode, I was like, motherfucker, there's karma here that it needs to be
Yeah.
paid.
Well, I mean, in a way, what we've seen Little Slugger do with his other victims, seemingly curing them of their paranoia or any other certain issues, he did in a way help that guy because he caught the guy and got the recognition, most likely got paid for it, and probably enough to pay off the Yakuza.
Possibly, but it's like, why did it have to be that guy?
Yeah.
Why did it have to be this guy?
I feel that
Yeah.
there.
Fucking
Yeah.
KO out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. This also makes the subplot of the two investigators investigating going to the case of Little Slugger a lot more interesting.
As they take pride in center stage with the next episode.
Yeah. Where they pretty much just interrogate Little Slugger for a while and reveal his kind of twisted worldview about what he's doing.
He believes he's a Dragon Quest main character. And the world is a medieval Final Fantasy style role
Man,
playing.
dude, this episode was a fucking trip. I'll tell you what.
They
You
had
have
the
to
most
kill
fun
that evil
animating
wizard, man. That's it.
They had so much fun animating this episode. I just know.
Yeah.
I also finally realized one of those guards was voiced by Liam O'Brien.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, one of the dudes.
Nice.
This episode shattered me because like this was it for me. This is what broke me, is because I was like looking in my head for what I've seen, as cryptic as a lot of this shit was. I was trying to solve this. A lot of people were probably trying to solve this within the suspense of these connected cases that also feel separate from one another in their own instance. Because like every episode is a dedicated person episode, and then we get to episode 5, and suddenly we're just seeing animations of one of them is pretending like he's a part of this fantasy world, and the other one's running up this spiral tower trying to catch up to them as they're climbing up in a holy warrior elevator. And I'm just like, I'm so confused on what's going on anymore.
This episode was quite the mold breaker.
Hey man, the officers don't test.
But yeah, he thinks he's doing a good. No, to interrupt all the time. He believes he's doing fucking good by attacking people by liberating them from the influence of Goma, some dark evil presence.
He basically equates the people he attacks to having dark spirits coming off of them, and he's dispelling them with his magical gold sword, which is just his baseball bat.
And his hover shoes.
Yeah, and his hover shoes. And yeah, so the investigators, well, one of them at least, the good cop one, plays along into his explanation to try to get more information out of him.
It's like the wiki says like an emic. I've never seen this word before, but it's like emic point of view on it, which is basically playing along and stuff like that. Never seen the word before.
Yeah. Not a whole lot to talk about what actually happens in the episode, but
I mean, he sort of retells what happens, like, from his perspectives of, oh man, the substitute teacher was like an evil butterfly lady. One dude was like an actual frog.
We do also see get to see some of the past victims come in and view the interrogation from the other side of the window to identify them and give them a little bit of details.
Yeah.
Which didn't really amount to much to the narrative, but it gave the investigators more stuff to go on.
And it eventually culminates with him giving them basically the hint for the next thing, where it's like there was someone who was going to help him get to the next level. Because he technically lost that last fight, but through comedic animation, they did win.
Yeah.
Please, the next important witness to the initial attack on the artist was that old woman we saw a little bit earlier.
Yeah, the old homeless woman.
Fun, very fun episode. Like, just the point, like, this is absolutely just space dandy. Let's fucking just do something.
Yeah.
Have some fun shit.
A very good mold breaker to what we've already seen. And perfect thing to follow up a twist ending to the last episode.
Absolutely.
I wasn't expecting a little slow yet.
Yeah, like we thought he was untouchable until he got one hit KO'd.
Yeah, till he got a fucking bobble to the back, or like a shoe to the back of the head.
KO out of nowhere.
I do have to say, I'm very glad the show actually did this kind of thing this early on in the series, rather than just saving it for the last episode or last 3 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes me
Because
question things more because we thought we knew what was going on.
Yeah, it reattached us to the show by letting us in on, hey, this is a tangible person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Because
and
if it hadn't done that, it would have made most of the other episodes that came after this one feel more a bit like filler, other than the connections between the victims.
Or repetitive because you think you
Yeah,
know
repetitive.
the pattern by now.
Yep. That's more accurate.
just real quick, back playing. Gotta say, my favorite episode of the ones that I did miss was the Double Lips episode.
Episode 3 is
definitely.
crazy. Episode 3 is crazy.
Yeah.
I was wondering what I was listening to until like halfway through the episode, and I was like, oh, she's got like a split personality disorder, and I'm just like, oh, like that like reeled me in real hard. That was the episode that was like, I'm gonna keep watching this. And
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's based off of something because almost beat for beat, there's an American Dad episode of this with Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like 50% sure it's based off of some sort of movie or short story.
Probably. But yeah, that's just like halfway through, like, wait a minute.
yeah, I just figured since I missed, I just wanted to make an honorable mention in that regard.
Yeah.
Was that episode fucking that like sucked me in? I was curious thus far, like with everything that was going on, and like, okay, who's this person? Like the writer that was following. I'm forgetting. I'm bad at names. the first victim, the writer that was like everything that was going on the first 2 episodes. I was there for it, and then like that episode just threw me like it just sucked me in. I was like, I'm so confused. Like, what is this personality type? Like all these people that are involved. I was like, it was the tutor. The tutor was the one getting sucked in.
Yeah. That just goes to show that outside of the ongoing plot line of Little Slugger and the investigation, just the self-contained stories and narratives of the victims themselves can be very much entertaining and enthralling.
Very much so.
Which is very good to have. So even if they did hold off on the reveal or whatever, like I mentioned earlier, it wouldn't have been that bad. Just slightly repetitive.
That leads us into episode 6, which has a lot more connections.
Yeah.
To episode 4.
Yeah, it's starting to back around a little.
The 2 investigators go seek the old woman who's being the most cryptic. The most, to the point where fucking bad cop fucking yells at her and fucking like hits away her cigarette. She's living in like a box. She's like homeless.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I hate this. Like, oh no, dude, this cop's definitely my bad side. Like fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say fuck him. He's dealing with a lot of shit.
I understand he's dealing with a lot of shit. That's no reason to go off on a homeless like that.
He's got a hot temper.
Yeah. I agree.
It's also happening during a freaking huge storm.
Yeah, a huge storm was coming and fucking up shit.
Yeah.
But we follow Tsukiko? No. The information they get from her by the end of it is Tsukiko, the first girl. The old woman says no one was there when she was attacked.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
Which confuddles the investigators, which leads them to go talk to her again. Which they do. They investigate, hey, no one was seen there when you got attacked. We also found near the evidence area a bent pipe. And they start pressing more in onto this, saying that no, she's the one who did it to herself.
Yeah.
But
that's a big reveal of the episode.
Yeah, as that gets taken away, she faints. Like just like she got hit, like she got moved and hit
Mhm.
and faints, but nothing was there.
She got hit with some ethereal force or something. During which this is happening, we have another one of the victims essentially we're following. Takeo.
A runaway teenager.
Mm-hmm. Who's dealing with a lot of inner turmoil right now. And there's really not a whole lot the narrative, well, what she's actually doing.
Yeah, she's just kind of walking through the storm.
Yeah.
But keeps flashing back to shit.
Just having inner monologue about all of her familial issues and the text she keeps receiving from her father, who she does not like.
Oh yeah, no. Very much family issues.
And through the flashback, we see exactly why that is.
As her father is who she adored. Like there were scenes where like, I want to marry you when I grow up, Dad. It's like, you can't marry me. There's your mom. Like no, like that kid stuff, that adorable kid shit. As we learn, her dad is Mazumi, aka Cop Man,
the previous victim. So there's the connection there.
Yep.
And despite being a married man who goes after prostitutes, he's also done something involving his kid.
Daddy.
Like with the house they just made with all that money, they built a new house.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah. Fuck that, no.
Yeah.
You know, if you make this one thing to build a house, if you build a house, don't put a cam in your fucking child's bedroom. That's disgusting.
Yep. She discovers this, and that leads to her pretty much all of her inner turmoil that's going on right now.
Absolutely.
It caused her to run away.
Loses it. Breaks the fucking room. Breaks the laptop. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was just gonna put like a happy birthday sign or something like on the laptop. Be like, happy birthday, Dad. But then she finds files.
Yeah. On her computer of her undressing. It's bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah. This eventually culminates with her taking a walk through the storm while it's happening at its peak.
Seeing the old woman drowning and she can't do anything about it. Because it's getting really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So bad it breaks the house.
Yeah, basically just causes a mudslide to happen on the house that was just built. But then also she gets stacked by a little slugger, and then, well, we'll see how fine she ends up in the next episode.
Yeah, she gets knocked up by a little slugger, which you don't think they would let him go.
I
don't think that was established, so what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I didn't know about that either.
But I think so. The thing with little slugger is that it makes them a little more happy. It makes the victim more happy or not. I think the mudslide collapsing in the house was her thing. Will be her happiness a little bit.
They mention at the very ending of the episode, she's in the hospital bed like anyone else. She didn't die in the storm or anything. Next to her dad, who says, "Hey, you're awake, honey. Hey, the house got destroyed. It's what you wanted, because earlier she said she wanted to destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that house, because that's where all the terrible shit happened." And she kind of dazed, like laughs it off a bit, like, I'm sorry, who are you? Having amnesia.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just like immediate amnesia, and you're just like, oh.
That's the only way someone like that could have been happy, is to forget all that.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much a dark way of saying the most realistic way to quell those kind of feelings and trauma. It's like that's the only solution. That's okay then.
But that does make me wonder, who is Little Slugger then? Because we thought it was the guy, the kid, the warrior of light, but then we're told that the first attack, no one hit her and she did it to herself, and then she gets hit by an invisible force, and then this happens.
Yeah. Not to mention she's still having delusions of her little plush toy talking to her.
Oh yeah, that thing. I don't know if that's delusions. I don't know if that's delusions. I think that might be real.
I'm not sure, honestly. I really don't know, but
there was a scene where like he drops out of the bag and it looks like he's looking at the cops who are taking her away because she got knocked out. Like,
I will say the ending, or the result that the investigators come to, that she attacked herself, does clear up the fact, or clear up the thought that her little plush toy is talking to her and telling her not to worry about these things, it shows that her paranoia or any bad feelings have not been cleared up by little Slugger, as they did with
No.
everyone else.
Because she's
Yeah.
probably still, like, once she gets back in gear, like, hey, you made the next toy? You made the next Hello Kitty?
She is not completely out of anything, really.
That also makes me... There's questions. I got questions. I'm
Yeah.
paranoid and I have questions.
It leads to a mountain of questions that may or may not be solved next time.
Yeah.
We can probably move on to the next one then. Because I said
Everyone good with this?
covered everything.
I'm good.
The next one. And boy, the next one's a doozy. School Live. Four, 5 girls are trapped in a school of the undead. Everyone's zombies outside, and they're surviving inside the school. One of the main characters, speaker, I don't remember her name.
Yuki.
Yeah.
Key.
In her head, everything is normal, and she attends class and all that jazz, which leads to a lot of sorrow and sadness.
Yeah. Just assuming everyone saw the first part of Anime Gateway, or at least the first 3 episodes, so we don't need to go over that again.
Yes.
You know, the situation that's going on. These
Yep.
3 episodes are more of a flashback, like an arc of flashbacks.
Yeah, mini arc flashback.
Mhm.
About our 4th member, Miki.
Yep, detailing Miki's struggle through this and how she and how she came into the school living club.
As opposed to everyone else who was already there at the school. She was from another school in the same branch? Or she just wasn't at the school at the time of the incident?
Yeah, I believe it was the same school.
Well, I'm good.
When the zombie outbreak happened, when the zombie outbreak happened, she happened to be along with her other friend at the mall. When it happened, and Cheeto,
with
you said?
Tomaru. Shido, Kai Shido is the girl she was with.
Okay.
And she had the dog, Tomaru.
Yeah, Toromaru. I remember the dog's name most of all.
Yeah, man, Tomaru.
And Megumi. Yeah. So they hold themselves up in a room within the mall, waiting the days to pass. And Miki is completely content with staying in the room, waiting for help. Her
Just
friend,
have enough food and shit.
yeah, her friend is not. She's both wanting to just leave and try something, but also to protect, get more food and more supplies and everything, because they will not last forever.
This leads to a divide between the two, because out of anyone, this is the most like they feel like they have a relationship. Maybe they're not just friends. We can't rightly tell, but there's a feeling of it. As it kind of eventually drifts them apart.
Yeah, a lot of tensions ensues until she finally does leave, leaving Miki by herself with the dog, who she yells at. Understandably so.
Yeah, her and the dog don't get well together.
Yeah, that explains why the dog doesn't like her.
Yeah.
During this, the other school life club, who's already well acquainted has already established their school life situation with the zombies, goes on an outing to the mall to get a bunch of supplies and stuff, and just shopping in general.
Also, because Yuki wants a field trip.
Yeah, they
go on a field trip. Make Yuki happy in this town.
Yeah, that's their primary motivation. They also they pretty much steal a car to do so.
Yeah, we lead to the most action we've seen for a while, where they have to like distract some zombies, get to a car, get in the car, and then drive off. As we see, much more of the area is broken down, infested. Gives more of a scope to the scenario we're in. It's not just the school.
Oh yeah, it is quite spread. We still don't know the extent of how much it's spread, but it has.
We go to the mall and have a pretty nice episode. Like,
we do a bunch of shopping.
It was a shopping episode. Everyone was having fun. nothing bad was happening. They snuck past the zombies on the first floor. Not much can get to the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
I
They
like that
encountered
they
Jamal-
still pay, even though
Oh yeah.
it means nothing.
If I you
Think-
give me your name.
Yeah,
Oh,
we get some
Megune.
clothes. We get some some gifts from Megune, like that doll she has, her keychain, pretty cute.
They eventually run into Tarumaru, who ran away from the room after Miki yelled at him,
Yeah,
and her. Well, eventually, is that when the Yeah, that's when the zombies start going after them, or things get more hairy.
yeah. As they
After
try
trying to leave the
explore
mall.
an area, and there was a locked off area with a bunch of zombies in the movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
and they upset them.
Yeah. Eventually, while trying to flee, Tarumaru starts barking at Miki, or just in her general vicinity, which alerts her to try to spring into action.
Finally, get the courage to get out of the room.
Yeah. That also leads to a lot of frickin' action happening.
Chase scenes galore, and a pretty important scene, as we elaborate the next episode with Yuki. Because
That's right.
with her, we still don't fully know the depths of this affliction, but when it came to a moment where it was too dangerous to go for Miki and they probably should have left her for dead, Yuki ran right in there, fucking crying and yelling and shit,
Mm-hmm.
which led everyone else to run in and barely make it out with their lives.
Yeah, they barely
But-
escaped.
They do with Miki in tow.
They take her back to the school life club, catch up with her, tell her everything. Well, they acquaint with each other, then ask her to join the club, and also to show her around the school.
Yeah, Yuki
how-
gives her a tour.
Yeah,
of
how
the
great it is.
school. Which quickly leads to the very important part of episode 6 and the finale of our flashback arc.
As Yuki's introducing Miki to the music room, I believe it was,
Yeah.
and how well it is, she also brings Megune along with her.
Their,
exemplify
their
everything.
teacher who no one really respects too much.
Oh.
But you know, she's there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's just the thing. She's not there.
Wail into the mic a little bit more. You keep cutting out. I want to hear those wails. There it is.
Yeah. Miki asks a very important question to Yuki upon this first outing that they have. Is that who is she talking to?
And that fucks up Yuki
Yeah.
as Miki comes to learn about Yuki's infliction. I don't know if that's the right word to use this, but
The other members inform her about what she's going through during all of this and implore her to play along with it. And according to the
Yes.
other episodes, she eventually learns how to.
Yeah, because comparatively, as we saw with the first episode, she's still not fully accustomed to Yuki because she was the one kind of
Right.
not fully
Yelling in the classrooms.
yelling in the classroom. But she sees after how Yuki kind of brings everyone together with her hope and cheer and doing little shit like her just wanting to go to the mall saved Miki's life.
That is true.
We also don't learn in this episode that if her friend lived or not. We have no idea. She's still
Yep.
MIA.
That's still a cliffhanger. But
But
they didn't see any trace of her.
I guess spoilers, the biggest spoiler so far, with that big question and asking who she's talking to, we learned that, in fact, like the classrooms, like the everyday thing Yuki sees through her eyes, Megune is also a delusion.
Yeah.
Which explains why most people interrupt her or ignore her.
Or she just pops up randomly.
Yeah, we don't
Like-
fully see how she gets to areas.
Yeah. Like there was a scene in the mall. She just appears in a place where she shouldn't have.
Also, going to the mall, you had an adult, but one of the kids decided to drive.
Yep.
supposed to be her.
They even took
car
her
as well.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even then, like that hurt my. There wasn't a response to it, but that hurt my mind when I looked back on it because, like, she was in the back seat of her own car. And
Yep.
I was just like, what? Why? What? That this.
There was
episode-
There were subtle hits though. There was
Oh,
subtle
yeah.
Absolutely.
hints to it though. Like when they were trying,
started-
like she was hating the presence of Megane and she denied it.
I started crafting this theory since episode 2, I believe.
It was episode 3, I think, for me, was when she had her episode, which kind of threw me off for a bit, but it showed a slight screenshot, just for like a second, of a scene that didn't really make sense at the time.
Yeah.
But as we learn a bit about what happened with Shovel Girl and the incident that incited this thing with Yuki, as Megumi sacrificed herself so that they could live.
Yep.
And this is the source, as far as we know, of Yuki's delusions.
Yeah. Her grief, in a way. Because she is... That's actually a good thing to bring up, because I didn't really make that connection fully. But
Yeah,
it does
it's,
make
yeah,
sense that when she does encounter, like opens her eyes to the zombies that are around, it doesn't, like, send her into any kind of shock or anything. She just gets regularly scared for a moment before she goes back into her delusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Fuck, man.
I will also say... Hey, no, go on, James, actually.
I just everything in that regard for this episode, just like, all right. So, like, this is the one show that Billy is enthralled. Like, Billy has been around with the whole time before too, and we are side by side, like shattering to this show.
I'm so glad.
Like, he didn't watch Lane. Like, he watched a little bit of Lane with me. He watched, like, for the first week, he watched a lot, like, everything but Erased with me. He watched the back half of the first 3 episodes of Erased, but everything else he watched with me. School Live is the one where he personally on the side is like, I'm gonna watch every 3 episodes with you because he's crazed by it. And we were both just shattering to this specific, like, episode 6. We were like, no,
don't say it. Don't ask the question. No.
We're like, no, she's been. But we saw episodes with her, and then we had this moment where we thought back to that, and just like, no. We were fucking losing our mind because this show has been the best in that regard, of just constantly just making you think something and then just demolishing it with a fucking bulldozer.
It's the lightest in tone, but that makes it hit the hardest when it takes away that light brevity. Because this is a slice of life. This isn't an action shit. This isn't anything else.
Yeah, you just look at Taramaru and like you're just like, God, cute Dougie, and then you just everything in the background
and everything else is on fire.
That's what the opening, like dad, like so happy and joyful and shit.
Yeah, the theme is like, this is one of my favorite opening themes because it's so happy. It's such a fun poppy tune. But anyway, Mikey, what were you gonna say?
I just have to say the absolute worst part of this episode that got to me was when it was over and it went to the next time segment, where normally we see Yuki and Megune talking about what happens in the next episode. However, in this one, Yuki poses a question in it, and you can still see Megune's little chibi head there. But then it starts to just disappear as she's.
It showed all the moments. It's like, no, don't wipe her out of the picture. No.
That was a credit. That was a credit sequence, and that made sense. That was a sad end. But then after that, the next time thing, where it made maybe you get a little spark of hope. It's like maybe we get to hear Megune's voice like one last time or whatever, or we don't know how what's gonna happen. But no, she just fades away, like with the rest of her little chibi head fading away. That killed me.
Oh no, I did not. I did
Yeah.
not watch the after effects of that. Oh no.
That was
Oh.
the part that really got to me.
Oh no.
I was like,
I'm gonna
shit,
have to
there's
go back and watch that.
there is no hope. There's no
It's gone.
Yeah, she's just gone. Oh man.
It was never a Megune to begin with.
Yeah.
Just oh
Or
man.
Megumi. But hey, they got the dog.
This is gonna be a hard fucking week. This is like the second week of this, and this is gonna be probably the hardest that I've ever had to deal with because all of these have me fucking sucked in.
I wonder how good the live action film is, if it caught any of this good writing or not.
Would hope so. I think it would be a worthy adaptation to live action.
Wait, Yuki appeared as the support character in a fighting game called Nitrops Blaster Z Heroin Infinite Duel.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, all right. Maybe Zach heard of it.
Alright.
There's your random trivia for the day.
Yeah. Oh, it has that one girl on it. You know, the Supersonic coach, she's on it.
Oh, of course.
There's a bunch of other people, like a girl with a gun, a fairy girl. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Apparently there's a crossover, a bunch of other media like that. Anyway.
Oh man. Any more thoughts on this episode of School Lives, guys?
Nah, them good.
All right.
On to last show of the evening. The oldest show of the bunch. Serial Experiment Lane. Yeah.
Certified a classic.
General gist. Electronics.
Please give me the general gist.
I
I would love
can't.
to know what's happening.
I
It's a
don't.
tough one.
Yeah,
It's a tough one to
I
really
love
go
to
over.
know what's happening.
I am way beyond confused.
The best connection I can make compared to the last ones, Lane has expanded on her knowledge, or like has really gotten into the knowledge of the Wired and her, I don't remember what they called it, her computer.
That's
Which
really
is
cool to
their
see.
form of the internet.
Yeah. Her link, was it? I don't remember what it was called. She's getting more enthralled into it, asking a bunch of different questions about stuff going on pertaining to the Wired.
Like the addiction of this new online game called Phantom.
Mhm.
Or
And
kids are
also
playing
some-
tag, but it's leading to murders.
And also the case of some experiment called codenamed Kids,
Yes.
and she speaks directly with the creator of it to figure out what is it like. And honestly,
Ogson.
a lot of the content of these episodes, hard to follow. What I will say that's very impactful for it is towards the ending of each episode manages to hook me back into the greater narrative. Like each one has something to like bring you back to and keep you guessing about what is going to happen next.
Something she also discovered, or possibly some of the things might have been caused by an elite secretive hacker group known as the Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see more scenes of those guys, Men in Black style, stalking her house. Which they haven't done anything yet, but
Yeah.
they're becoming more prevalent. A big theme, and I slightly got not a spoiler explanation, but when I watched like a short of people talking about animes they really like, this was on one of their lists. And they mentioned how this is becoming more relevant today, as it's because this was made in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's really about technology and almost predicting how social media would work.
How connected everyone becomes to the internet and things entailing it.
And it's taking that idea concept and twisting it in 5 dimensions.
Yep. Like I think, like I said, the ending hook of each episode is what kept me coming back. Cause I think in the episode 4, it was just the
It's
the
called
scene
religion. Just the episode is called Religion.
Yeah. I believe that was the one where we just see her room completely decked out with all of these technology and wires and everything. And she's running a coolant system in her room. The floor is wet.
Yeah, there's it's like a puddle now. It's like a swamp of technology.
It is intimidating.
There's nothing left of that old room
And
she
she's
had in the
just-
first 3 episodes.
Yeah, she's just used to this. Like, she's just like, oh, she's barefoot and she's just dashing across her room.
She's embraced it.
Yeah, like that's of all the picks we could have had, because there's a lot of horror anime out there. Like, this is the one that's like keeping itself relevant within our current world and how it's working. Based on that fact, is just like this weird futuristic aspect that's almost becoming of what our current generation is like.
I think your setup's degenerate. Fucking see her shit.
It's especially jarring seeing remembering what the room looked like beforehand, because it was very empty before.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
seeing
and
when
it
her
pans
parents
back to it.
come in and like say, "Hey, Lane,
Hey,
what's
Lane, you doing
going
all right?
on? You doing all right, sweetie? You winning?"
You winning, son? Even her dad, who was the most tech savvy of the family, who had like a fucking 6-monitor setup, is just not really intimidated by it, but is just concerned for his daughter.
So how
I feel
did
like
she
it's a
get this
little- I feel
money?
like-
How'd she
Like,
get
she
all
does
this without her
the-
dad noticing? Like, there's... I don't know.
I'm not sure that adds to the mystery. She has been upgrading her technology, so maybe it might just be organically happening, which makes me raise more
I feel like-
questions.
Yeah, I feel like it's part of like a future predicting premonition that like in the future technology will just be able to you'll be able to just like download this stuff from the Wired.
There might have
stuff
been
like
one
that,
scene where she
or just have
bought
it
more
be
shit, but I
self-upgrading.
can't remember if that actually happened or not.
I think the only thing I remember from that is her going to the club and asking about the nanobot thing,
Yeah.
the nano pill. It's just like it's a loose connection narrative, honestly, all things considered.
Yeah.
Because the bulk of the episodes it's really just there to like leave an impact on you about what is actually happening in the narrative. It's hard to explain.
And episode 5 is called Distortion, which is all about like these hallucinations that have been happening around the real world from the Wired.
Yeah. That is an important thing to bring up too, is that the things that are happening in the Wired are very much affecting real life as well. Not just the people connected to it, but everyone around it, everyone in the real world. It's doing things. I'm very curious to see how that develops, because I feel like that's going to be the primary source of horror.
And episode 6, Kids. As we
Kids!
kind of see from Lane's sister, Yasu. Sees how fucking her room changed and how a lot of times Lane's been acting differently. We're seeing more of that, where sometimes she's really like spoken and like not afraid to talk, and other times she's super quiet.
It's like she's done a complete personality change.
And I think this more happened in episode 5, but it was the ending of it was the ending of episode 5.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Which happened with her sister, where she just brought up during dinner to Lane, like, what's up with all that technology shit? Like, this is pretty weird. And then she wakes up in a diner, and there's nobody, and she goes to the bathroom, and it's like on the wall, there's like fulfill the prophecy.
Yep.
Fulfill the prophecy.
She tries to go outside, and now she's like in a crossroad. It's like fulfill the prophecy, and she can't move. It's hard to explain this scenario, but
Yeah.
I want to talk about the ending of that scenario where she makes it back to her house, sees she's still there,
Mm-hmm.
and looks at herself, and then I don't know what happened. she got like assimilated by herself.
Yeah,
I,
basically.
I, that was the most horror I've seen in all of these shows. Period.
It is unnerving.
Because as we see in episode 6, she's kind of just sitting there at home, not doing anything. Her mom's like, man, you used to go out late, but now Lane's doing that. And you're staying home early. Like, that's pretty weird. And she's just
She's just stone-faced.
She's just out of it.
Oh my god.
Here.
As
Yeah,
fucking Lane's hanging out with the girls. And
That was real quick. I also want to go over the very ending of episode 5, where Lane looks out her window to see the people spying on her, the Men in Black people, who it can be assumed that they are the knights that we've heard about. But as she just sees at them after knowing like they've like spied on her for like 3 or 4 days now, kind of just yells out, and it's like a super powered yell that.
Oh yeah, she blows up a scouter.
Yeah, breaks
Yeah,
one of their pieces of equipment.
You see the window like phase out for a second, and she just yells, and we just see his scouter, essentially a scouter, just shatter, and blood comes out of his eye, and they like freak out and jump in their car and fucking drive away. Like, oh my, like,
Yeah,
that's some intense shit. Even for how old this show is comparatively, that's some stuff that's enough to like keep people like into it. It's just like what just happened?
Exactly. For how like esoteric and just weird the rest of the bulk of the episodes can be, it still manages to surprise you with things like that. And it's especially good that it happens at the end to keep hooking you back in. It's exactly what happened to me.
Fucking episode 6, Lane sees like a hologram, like all the kids are looking at the sky saying fulfill the prophecy, and then she looks up and she sees on her telegram like a hacking thing. It shows her face. She's like, what's up with that? So she goes to the wire and digitally puts herself in the wire where she forms a full body and starts walking.
It's like the first instance we see of like her, of anyone physically being in the wire.
And she come across some other people who like at most can manifest a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets talked to a not Cheshire the cat entity. And she eventually walks to the person who made the kids, the creator of Kids.
Who made Kids?
Professor Hodgson.
Yeah.
Who is just chilling at a beach in the schoolyard.
He's basically, like, in real life, he's basically on his deathbed right now, but he's still connected in the wire and can still talk to whoever them, I guess.
And he explains that an experiment he started 15 years ago was about gathering psi energy from children and storing it. But for what? I don't know.
But like all experiments, it goes terribly wrong.
Yeah, they try to destroy it, but it seems the Knights have gotten a hold of the project schematics, which makes Lane, eventually he's like, all right, I think I'm done. Either he dies or he goes to rest, not sure which.
Pretty sure he just died.
Yeah, I think he just died. She comes back from the wire to see the Men in Black fucking looking through her window again. She's like, God damn it, I'm tired of you. And she goes out her house, goes to the street to talk to them. And try to tell her to leave. I'm done with you. You fucking Knights. You're the Knights, aren't you?
Yeah.
As her coolant goes awry and explodes her room.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if she didn't go down to yell at them, she would have died. And the Knights say, hey, that's probably... The Knights put a parasitic bomb in your coolant. You kind of just walk off.
Yeah. They say, like, that was, they got you out here to protect you. And she asks, protect me from what? And they say, from the Knights.
But she thought they were. But they aren't, maybe?
That's, again, one of the dramatic hooks that just wants to keep me watching.
And we don't know this episode yet, but episode 7 is called Society. So I just want to point that out.
I can't wait for the Joker to show up.
Yeah. Out of all of these, this is the one I don't know what's really going on, which does add a bit to the horror, but it also kind of takes away because sometimes I can't fully understand the scope of how big or what's happening, so I don't know how to be afraid. Like, I was definitely afraid when I saw her get assimilated. I could understand that. And she like became 3D techno something. It was so quick.
It was just like, oh, hey, don't mind me. I'm just gonna do this like real quick.
Don't mind if I
just casually go into the fucking computer.
Don't mind if I damn.
Yeah, and seeing the slow progression of her like techno room becoming bigger and bigger to the point where now it's just a den of technology was subtly creepy.
Very much so. Very subtle.
I feel like even if we watch this all the way to the end, I'm not gonna understand.
Probably not. That's the kind of thing the risk you run with a series like this that's so out there and esoteric. Is that there's a very real risk of just not being able to understand it by the end. Like the scope of it is just too much for most people to handle. Or the vision of the creator, it just isn't as clear to everyone as they would hope.
Yeah, honestly, that's why like a big part of how I'm watching this is trying to keep my mind as open as possible as to the message it's sent across, because of all the shows we're watching right now, this is like the biggest brained anime that we've had.
To be fair, you need to have a high IQ to understand Serial Experiments Lane.
I also want to point out the weird video game that's kind of tied into Lane. There was this fucking
the boomer shooter.
No, it was
or the which one?
It's this weird graphic novel network simulator. It says, but the creators don't even really call it a game, but a psycho stretchware.
Oh, right. Okay.
That is it's just reading at this, it's weird because it's more about trying to understand Lane's perspective and go through Lane's story.
Yeah.
It's animated like the anime, but it's like, and you're trying to get information, but you get them through random orders, and you don't really do puzzles or play any platform like anything like that. It's fucking weird. I got like recommendations on like the world of weird PlayStation games like that, and this was one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot to this.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah. I think that covers most of Serial Experiments Lane.
Anyone got anything else? So we have the point of the show. It's time to give our fucks, give our marries, and give our kills. Anyone like to go first?
All right. I think I can go first, actually.
Alrighty.
Do it.
All right. So for my fuck, I'm gonna do a bit of a flip flop from last episode and give my fuck to School Live.
Oh shit.
And subsequently give my marry over to Erased. If only for the fact that I am currently more enthralled of the story that Erased is telling, like immediate enthralled, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what happens immediately. I think I still, in the grand scheme of things, think School Live is way more impactful so far, but just given this group of 3 episodes, I'm most on board for Erased right now.
Yeah.
And then, so my kill, oh my goodness, it really pains me to do this.
No.
Because, oh god. I was struggling, honestly, which one I would give it to at the beginning, but I came to the conclusion that the one I'm going to give my kill to, I'm absolutely going to watch and finish regardless, because it's just so enthralling anyway. I have to give my kill to the Serial Experiments Lane.
Damn, shooting your own kid.
Yeah,
shooting your own kid.
It very much pains me to do it, but it's it's just the risk thing I thought of earlier. It's like I have a good feeling this is probably going to be unsatisfying by the end, and also it was just Paranoia Agent is like more directly enthralling to me right now as we're watching through
That's
Oh,
fair.
yeah?
than Lane is. But in the grand scheme of things, like I said, I'm going to watch the rest of Lane regardless because I need to know what is going on.
I think
Alright.
with that, I think I know what I'm picking now.
Yeah, you can
Alright.
go ahead.
Mary is going to Paranoid Agent. It's fucking that RKO out of nowhere fucking stuck with me.
Cool.
Okay.
Episode 5's trippy animations to episode 6 unsettlingness. Just was a big combo pack of I thought I knew what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on even more. Yeah, that really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Fuck's still going to school live because you gotta pull one out for Megumi.
For one out.
And originally, I think I was gonna give my kill to Serial Experiment Lane, but I want to keep in theme, and if I'm gonna be honest to myself, Erased isn't scary. There's suspenseful drama. Sure, I'm enthralled to see what happens next, but I haven't felt scared at all, which was the initial point of this. So even though possibly I might like Lane less or might not understand what's Lane, it got me at least in one aspect of whatever the fuck happened to Lane's sister.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm giving my kill to Race.
That's a very valid way to vote.
But I still also like to watch and finish the race.
Oh yeah, of course. You have me keeping track, right, Jacob?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Alright. James?
Sorry, Jacob. You were me first.
Okay. I gotta give my Mary. I gotta give Mary to School Live. I think out of all the shows, this one had like the best ending of the 3 episodes. It kept me most entertained and most engaged.
Fair.
My fuck. I gotta give it to Erased. For
Or
Your words,
And
use your words.
the animation style, keep me engaged with all things, everything going on. Like once I start, like if I there's not one point in the show where I have started losing interest. Because it's just one thing after another. It keeps going boom, boom, boom. And compared to the show that I'm not giving award to, I can explain it more. But my kill's going delayed. I am confused as fuck.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know what the fuck's going on at all. There's so many questions. Just I don't know, man.
That's
Like I'm like 1000% like out of this anime.
That's fair. That's fair.
Zagging, zigging.
And then Paranoia Agent, as good as the show is, I have if it doesn't start picking up, I think this is next on my chopping block.
All right then.
So I think it's picking up crazy, but interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only reason I didn't give my not the only reason. Part of the reason I didn't give my kill to Paranoia Agent is that it's at points I feel like it was being. It also just throws a curveball at you, and like I gotta see if it throws another one.
Yeah, okay, it's showing good things, it's showing interesting things. I don't know. It's lacking compared to the other two, in my opinion. But with that being said, we have Erased with 2 points.
James, you fucking
Oh yeah,
skipping
yeah,
over
yeah,
James.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Hey, James, how you doing, buddy?
You know, I'm just hanging out here, just
That's
watching
awesome.
you guys.
That's awesome. Anyways, we have Resident 2. Go ahead, James.
All right. So, since I get to participate here, all
You are allowed.
right, just to make sure, as it's been a bit, fuck is top, Mary is mid.
Mary is top.
Oh, Mary is top. Okay,
Stop.
I'm just used to. All right.
The order of fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
So things
Yeah.
fuck is a one night stand. Mary's you're dedicated to this one show.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give my fuck to being realistic, paranoid agent.
Okay.
All right.
So far, this show among all of them has left me like comparing it to the systems we've had thus far. Like Lane has, I feel like I know, regardless of how it's going to end. I feel like I know what direction it's headed. Like there's a giant theme here, but I fuck with Paranoia Agent because of how confused constantly it has left me. Every time I think I have it down, every time I think I know what's going on, it just throws me for a loop.
Sometimes you get hit by a shoe and you just didn't expect it.
Yeah.
True.
Because I just exactly. I finally thought I knew what was happening. It was a ghost. It was a ghost guy. No, it's not. He got hit by a shoe, and now we're watching a girl watch a granny drown in a river with her pedophilic dad.
Yep.
Fuck. So that's my fuck. All right, my Mary gotta go to School Live.
Yeah, baby, let's go. I'm doing it.
Because
My kid's the best
My
one.
kid's the
He's
best one.
kid. I killed all the other kids. They weren't good enough. This is the
Damn.
best kid.
this show just has me just I've been the most upset with this show.
It's got the Billy seal of approval.
Yeah, it's got the belly seal of approval, let's be real. I'm just like, it has me the most confused and upset of everything that's going on. Everything, like, versus being not knowing how it's going to end. It's more along the lines of, it has betrayed me several times.
Honestly, what better quality can you give to a horror media than just being upset at it,
Betrayal.
but like in a good way?
Right, exactly. It's had me like I'm trying to get attached naturally. We're humans. That's a part of us is trying to get attached to characters. And then I find out the teacher's fucking dead, and I'm just like, no! And that'll bring me to my kill. Again, this is the hardest season I've had to do this with, but I'm gonna have to give my kill to Lane.
All right,
Yeah.
Lane, go back in the thing. We gotta redo the explosion. Go back in your room.
No, don't do that to her.
Gotta put it back in the room.
Alright, just let me, as I'm approaching where I see this going, that what's probably being voted out here, this is gonna be another one where I'm going to finish it. I need to know
Oh yeah.
what, like, how this ends. Not necessarily what direction it's going, but how it ends. Okay, thank you for that. I with how it's been presented, I think this show has aged phenomenally. Just like in regards to everything that I've seen with it, the fact that it has a more modernized presence before this shit happened to us, before Facebook was even a thing, before like a lot of social media was even a thing on these platforms with how old it is, I think it stays relevant in a lot of regards. Maybe at this point, the only reason I feel separated from it is how numb I am to those things in our personal lives.
Right. That is the kind of thing you gotta take a step back. If you're so like you're many people so enthralled with technology nowadays, you need to take a step back and view it from this angle to get what it's trying to say.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel the messages it's trying to get across. Like, that's why, like, as you guys all mentioned, but like, we're all still, maybe not you directly, Jacob, but because of the message I see it's trying to put across, I'm interested to see how it continues to do it towards the end and see how it compares to our current lives, because it was before its own time. But I only bring up these pointers as I was the last one to go in these group, in this group, and we all have a direction as to where this is ending up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's still had me, like, the environments, the what had me in horror aspects was these, and feel free to butt in if you guys see it at this being the end of it. What still had me was these the darkened environments, these real,
Oh yeah.
rather than just cryptic music in the background, these absolutely silent environments with only background noise, only visual aspects going on.
Oh yeah.
Had me sucked in more than, I would say, like, it was a close debate, obviously, between Erased and this, because Erased, regardless of its horror aspects, suspense overtook that. But the background visuals and the audio that came from all of these just felt so more enthralling, based solely on, like, how old it is. Like, they had it down to know how this was supposed to make the viewer feel, and that's crazy to me considering how long ago this anime was before everything else in our picks. And that's crazy to me. Sorry if I'm
Never
rambling.
apologize. Say your opinions. I want to hear them.
I gotta agree. The whole aesthetic and just environment this anime sets up is a big reason why I want to finish it too.
Fucking Shadow Blood stage still fucking get me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll forget that. Even
Those
if I
are
forget
dark-
everything else about this show, like, I won't forget about that.
First, the bright white lights against the glittery, starry shadows that you see when she leaves her house. It's just, like, striking.
All right.
Yeah.
That being said, I got the totals right here. Coming in third place, we have Erased with 2 points. Second place, Paranoia Agent with 3 points. And first place with a whopping 6 points, Full Live. Lane, fortunately with negative 3 points, it's the X.
It was -3.
Seems this experiment is a failure. Yeah.
Total accumulated points. Erase has 3 points. Paranoia Agent has 6 points. You guys want to take a guess how many points School Life has?
12.
Oh god. I think it's gotta be like 13 or something.
14, dude.
14.
Oh my god.
Yep.
This has
That's
been our
almost
highest.
the max of last season. Like,
Yeah,
the winner of last season, this is almost at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the most points any show has gotten so far.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
So let's see. Next episode of Gateway, will School Life keep us in love with it, or we'll do a 360 and end up getting the X?
Yeah.
She's gonna imagine Joker as her new teacher, and Joker's gonna be in all the scenes now.
Society. Oh yeah, quick fun fact about Serial Experiments Lane. Apparently it's not based off of a manga. It did appear as a TV series first. And was first broadcast in Tokyo at 1:15 a.m. Japan time.
Huh.
What a time for that to premiere.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I love that.
Now that's a time slot.
Shit.
it's a good time.
Yeah, that's a time slot dedicated to fucking with any viewer's brain.
Yep.
Fuck.
Alright, with that being said, chat, I appreciate you all sticking around. I'll be live tomorrow, but possibly with something, I don't know. Follow my Discord, you'll know what game I'm going live with, or follow my Twitter.
Yeah, baby.
Yay.
Anyways, till next time.
Well, bye.